Yeah, Brian, you can
Okay.
proceed. Yeah.
So at this phase, we will be checking your knowledge regarding this meetup. So we will be asking some questions like scenarios. You have 10 seconds to read the question and prepare your answer, and then you have to raise your hand to share the answer. Okay, and it's the same if you have like you will get the chance to share your answer to after raising your hand. If someone else raised their hand, so they have to tell like different story or share another answer. Okay, clear. Okay, you
Yeah.
can start sharing the first question now, Kapil.
Yeah, I can do. Just one thing, Brian, like as I am
Mhm.
showing on the main screen, I may not see who has raised the hand, so you may need to take care
Yeah,
of it because I can only see
yeah,
this.
sure,
Okay.
no worries.
So you guys can read the question yourself. Take 10 seconds and I start the timer, and then you just need to raise the hand and give the answer step by step. Okay. Okay. Javed.
Okay, so it's Nirali
Okay, Neil.
who raised the hand first.
Yeah, Neil. You can go.
You can go.
Yeah, so I think to check if value is there in the map or not, we should use the contains key method.
Okay. Javed, anything you
Okay,
want to add
and
in that? Yeah.
yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. So yeah, so we need to check that whether the key contains key method, that what Nirali said, and after that, whatever value we are fetching, we need to check whether the value is null or not.
Okay, and someone,
Yeah.
the last one to raise the hand was Kiur Minya. I don't know if I'm just saying this right, but I'm sorry.
Okay. So I guess we are checking values here. So first we can get the values using get values method, and after that we can check if it will return list, and after from that list we can check if contains if value is there or not.
Sorry to interrupt. Okay, we cannot directly do the get because we first need to check the contents key. If you want to make a code robust, because if the key doesn't contains, then the code may crash.
We can directly get values using get values method. So it will return.
Now you can get the list of values, but not a specific value, right?
No,
So list of values
as
doesn't
per
make
my
sense.
as per my understanding, I think we are checking if the value if the integer is there or not in map values. So we are not checking, I think, keys. We are checking values.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
So the question which was contained to map contain given values in FX Salesforce. So Digwend, are you also in the call and are you able to speak?
Yep, I am.
Yeah.
So,
Any specific scenario you or question you want to keep in front, so maybe they get a correct way how we want to ask them this particular thing. Yeah.
right. So basically, the question was about how you will find out in a map. So while using a map, right? Sometimes when we used to have a map, at that time, first you have to put a checks, right? Whether you have a value or not. If you won't put that checks, then you will get into issues like null pointer exceptions and all, right? So that's why, as Nirali and Javed mentioned, that first you have to put a contains key check, which confirms that whatever key you are requesting for, that is available as a key, so that you won't hit a error message, right? And then you will go for a get method to get that value out. So that's the main thought behind this particular question, which means like how you follow the practices. So the best way to achieve that means, definitely, as Kayur mentioned, get is a method to get out values out of a map. But if you won't test that contains key, right, you will get into that null pointer exception if key is not available for which you are searching.
Okay.
So
Thanks for this explanation. The reason I asked Digvendra to give you this explanation is because the whole, this particular presentation or scenario we are doing from the client perspective. So try to be more elaborated, try to give something before, something after, and also give reason for your particular point, like why you are thinking this should happen or why you are thinking this should happen, because all these questions are came from the public domain. So these are the scenarios, and every point have some pro and pros and everything which you need to give. Are we good here, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kapil, just wanted to add one thing. Like you said that the question will be like we will get the question, we'll be getting a 10 second of time, right? So if it is possible, what I request is you don't change your screen because it's related to the code. So as a developer, we all need to
I got it.
reiterate that.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is on
thank
me. It is on me. Okay, okay. I got it. Yeah. So, Brian, we can proceed to the next one.
Yeah, please. Okay, you have also 10 seconds to read the question and prepare your answer. Please don't forget to raise your hand. Okay, you can see that Nirali is the first one. Go ahead, please.
Yes. So to create a record for WebStore network object, we should write code like WebStore network, then the name of the object variable, let's say test WebStore is equal to new WebStore, then round braces, then semicolon. And then we should provide the details. Uh, so if I have named the variable as test web store, then I should assign the fields to it, fields values to it. So I would write test web store dot let's say web store ID. So I will assign some ID. Then I'll write insert test web store.
Okay,
Thanks for the
thank you.
information. Yeah.
Akib, do you have like something to add?
Yeah, so I would like to add more into the what the Nirali said. That is correct. But the thing is that this is the thing that we are trying to cover up the we are doing the test coverage, right? So for that reason, as you see in the query, it is with security infos. So we have to take into the consideration. Like first, we need to create a user, and then we need to check the profile, which user is going to have the access to this particular record, which is stored in the web store network, and in the context of that user, so we'll write that system dot run as in the context of that user. So what I mean to say is in the test class we have to create one user, then we need to assign this user to a particular profile. Okay, and if it is not in the profile, if it is in the permission set, that is the another story, but I'm keeping it as simple. Let's say in the profile the access is given to a particular profile, so we need to assign the user to that particular profile, and whatever Nirali said, that particular code should be written into a block. The block should start with system dot run as and the user that we have created just above. So that when we run this one, so when we run this particular test class, so with this with security info whatever is there, it will get that record whatever we have inserted in the test class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Can we move to the third one?
Sure.
Okay, guys, 10 seconds.
This look good to everyone, I think. Okay, good to go.
No one raised the hand.
Oh,
Okay,
actually,
Akib just did. You can go.
Yeah, so I'm not like I haven't faced this one, but I think we can use the escape character.
okay. As no one has said, so Digvinder, do you have any thought in this?
Okay, I think someone else, like Kayir.
I also think like escape single quotes we can use. I've checked with the single quotes, but I haven't checked with the end operator.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall
So
we move?
like the ideal problem is like the query that is defined, it is in the query params, and in the query params the default separator is the ampersand. But the problem is that in our query the ampersand is being used. So the system may get confused whether this ampersand is inside the query or it is the query params separator. So I believe a escape character will work. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Brian, do let me know if I need to move to the next one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, start.
Okay, guys, 10-second done. Did anyone raise? How is it?
No, not yet.
Uh,
Nirali, you can go.
Yeah, so in my previous project, we faced this issue that multiple developers were working using the same credentials to deploy the code or retrieve the code. That's why it was getting slow as it was hitting the limit. So we can assign different users different profiles or assign different credentials to different developers.
okay.
Okay. Anyone else has something to add?
Yeah, so the question what is asked is not the direct answer that I think Nirali has given. She has given a solution about the scenario, but the question is asking about is there a way to debug what is happening? Like what you have said is you must have tried like different developer having the different users, and then the issue is fixed. But can we really come to down to some debug statement or anywhere else? Like either we can see in some console log something, because I don't have any idea. So I just wanted to know if anybody is having that. Because what we usually do when it is not happening, we are terminating the process and then we are retrying again, right? We may be thinking that the internet is slow or maybe the server issue. So I also don't know about this one. So I just wanted to add if anybody knows. Thank you.
Okay. Like KU, Pradyuman, Abhishek, anything you want to, reply to this? Or his question, what he asked? Because, try to understand this meetup is not something to race or something. This is just to showcase your thing and, grow up your knowledge and show that to the public. And then it will be used in that way. So do participate.
Yeah, Kapil. So this is general issue as a developer, but it is not like mainly focused. We just as Akib said, we just do either terminate the terminal or just close the VS Code only and then again try it.
Okay, no issue. So I move to the next one, Behan.
Yeah.
So guys, 10 seconds starts. Now this is also a specific scenario. So I hope you guys all can participate. Done. Just to explain in this question, like there is the data, like millions of data in other CRM, which we have to take in Salesforce, but we have to keep, and in that particular data, there is multiple date and time fields with their different time zones. And now while transferring here, we need to keep the same format of time zone. Time zone formatting is important. Yeah.
Okay,
Proceed.
Akib, you can go ahead and start.
Give me a minute. I just want to rethink. Thank you.
Okay, Abhishek, you can go.
In the data loader, we can set up the time zone.
Okay. So how this data loader is exactly working and how it will help to keep the same time format and everything when we load from other to this one.
Sorry.
Like you mentioned, like we have to keep the same time zone in data loader. Okay. So is there any other, like, can you just brief it out, like how this thing is going to work out or something like that?
I'm not get your point.
Okay, no issue. Like I got your point, and like that's fine. Like you mentioned, like in the data loader, we have to keep the same time zone and format, so it will keep it, right? Yeah. Anything else like Nirali and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I uh, I- I'm not getting the date and time field thing, but to enter data into Salesforce from any other external platform, either we can use this data loader, or we can use, there is an node module by Salesforce only, JS Force, by which we can also import data into Salesforce.
Okay, so just 1 minute. Let me explain the question. Basically, while doing a data loading, right?
Yeah.
Your system time zone may differ, whereas your Salesforce org, your customer Salesforce org has a different time zone, right? Now, what is requested here is that you are fetching a date and time field values from a different CRM system, but your customer expect that similar date and time, what exists in that CRM system for a record, that should be, while uploading that data, it should match the exact time, date and time which they have in that system, right? Now, what happens when we usually data loads, if we don't take care of certain parameters, when you try to load this data, at that time Salesforce adjusts the time frame based on against which user you are uploading, what is your system time zone in which you are doing that, what is your Salesforce org time zone. So there are certain factors which needs to be taken care while doing this data upload. So did anybody come across this scenario where you have to maintain that system, that you have to do exact same data load of date and time fields, so you have to manage certain parameters so that it won't change, basically it should not malfunction while doing a data load, because that's the very key feature while doing a data load.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Kapil, can you just move to the next slide?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, guys, 10 seconds. And please don't forget to raise your hand.
10-second done.
Okay, anyone?
Anything you know about emails, messaging, the target object?
Akib, you can go.
Yeah, so regarding this email thing, I think that depends upon the license the user is having, and depending upon the license, they have a limit for a per day email that they can send. So if the email is the limit is this, they can wait for the time. Either they can wait for next day. Okay, so they can send it again on the next day, or they either they can connect with the Salesforce support team. So they may get the support, or they may like there's some kind of facilities wherein they can add in the limit that they are reaching, so that can be increased. So that is what is my understanding.
Right.
Okay, anyone like want to add anything?
Mhm.
Don't worry, guys. There are a couple of more questions are there. So do participate, everyone, and try to show whatever point, knowledge, or thing you have for that topic, or anything you come across while I read of your past work.
Okay. Next one.
This is the next one. The 10th second has started. Sorry. Ten-second done. Anything regarding email template? KU, Pradyuman,
Anyone?
I think the issue here is domain name. So I think we can remove that my domain dev self sandbox, and we can use the uh, from backend we can use one URL variable like get Salesforce based URL, and in the curly braces we can use that domain name here. So if it's a different type of domain, so it will catch up that one.
okay.
Anyone else?
No, I do agree with KU. That is my that is going to be my approach also.
Okay. Kapil, can you just move to the next one and the final question, I guess?
Sure. 10 seconds started. Done. 10 seconds.
Okay, Brad, you can go.
So I haven't faced anything like this, but all I can say is like we can add like we can normally like we call an API as we call an Salesforce Salesforce metadata API. There would be a uh, endpoint for getting all the triggers names and their features, and then another call out would be for making that particular API, oh sorry, that particular trigger deactivated.
Okay, Nirali, you have something to add?
Yes, I think we can also use a custom setting. So I can create a custom setting, and then I can create a custom record in that. So I would use a Boolean value to display to show that if a trigger is activated or deactivated. And in the trigger, I would before running the exact code, I would check if that custom setting is activated or not. And in the LWC, we can change the value of that custom setting to active or true or false to activate or deactivate the trigger.
Okay, thank you. Kapil, can you
Uh,
just move to the next slide? Oh,
I just wanted to add, sorry to
yeah.
interrupt, but what Mirali has suggested is a really good thing. So I just wanted to know, like, here it is saying using the metadata API. So can we do, Nirali, whatever you have done, you have said, that is good. I just want to add that thing. Like, can we just activate or deactivate that thing in the custom setting using the metadata API, right? So that will ultimately fix using the API. If you can handle your custom setting, whatever you have said, if you can handle your custom setting using the API, ultimately that custom setting will handle the trigger, right? So
Yeah.
that will come up with the solution, like together, like we can do the control of the trigger using the API metadata API.
Yeah, but
Can I add that?
sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
but I think like first of all, if we are using the Merit API, then we can directly like send the data like this particular trigger needs to be deactivated or not by use custom settings. And if we are using custom setting, then we have to use multiple custom settings for each trigger, which will be having like related like this trigger and this trigger name and the boolean value. So we have to create multiple custom settings for each trigger.
Yeah, correct, Radhiman. Like what you have said, I just forgot. Yeah, but now when you said that, I was just skeptic, like whether do we have any field called as active or deactive for a Apex trigger using the metadata API. So I'm not aware of that thing. If you do have that thing, then whatever solution you are providing is like a straightforward
Yeah,
solution. But what me and Nirali have just suggested, that's like a workaround.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. So you are you sure like there is something called as there is some field for all the Apex trigger as a active or deactive, like a
Yeah, there is
some
a
check
field,
that.
but
Do
I
we
don't
have?
know if we can access it in Merit API or not.
Okay, fine. I'll check that
Yeah,
in one
yeah.
later after this one. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys for your answers and opinions. Kapil, can you just move to the next phase, please?
Sure.